welcome to part 2 of our away days tier list. Me and Tom Jordan here. Hello, Tom.
Hello, mate.
We are going over the Championship teams that we're going to be visiting next season. If you didn't see the last video, the card at the top of the screen is what you need to click, and then you can have a look and see what we thought about everyone alphabetically up to Middlesbrough. Clue, it came last in our last video, and as you can see from the tier list on screen at the moment, it's in the I'd rather self-isolate category, yeah. But I think that's fair. We're here at the Rope and Anchor in Poole. It's a great little find. We're in the secluded beer garden out the back, run by Cherries fans, and as you saw in the last video, it's part of a mega prize that we're doing as part of Tony Funnell's fundraiser for the Forest Home Hospice. We're going to go over that again at the end of this video, but once again, Tom,
cheers, mate.
Cheers. And let's go through these teams then. So we're starting off in this video with part 2, and it's Millwall, a team that's lovely famed lovely family club.
Lovely club.
Thoughts of an away day at Millwall, mate?
It's weird actually, because I've been a couple of times. I remember going the first time I went, and they offered like a deal where you could have like a stadium tour. Yeah. And I think it was them trying to, as the club, trying to get that. Like, we're a family club, we're nice. And it was quite cool. Like, we had I don't know if you ever watched Dream Team on Sky One.
Yeah.
Obviously they filmed there, so there's a lot of stuff about that. So it was pretty cool. But I quite enjoy going in the stadium because the fans try and be intimidated. It's quite cool. Yeah. You know, some good chance in that. And it's only London, which is good, so you can kind of drink what you want. Yeah. It's decent, but it's not brilliant. It's not what I'm really looking forward to. No. I don't feel I could do anything other than average.
No. I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows Millwall's kind of, the fan base wise, I want to go a bit lower, but I feel like it's not too bad. I don't mind it, and I'll probably go, and it's only London, and yeah, I'm happy with that.
Was Theo Pafitis off Draggers Den? He was once their chairman.
Yeah, because when I went on that stadium tour, there was pictures of him everywhere. It was,
and I remember, I can't remember when it was. I want to say like 97, 98 or whatever. It was a Boxing Day. I went on my own on the coach, and
I was in nappies, mate. I was
and I went on my own, and we won 1-0, and can't remember who scored it, and we was on the coach at the end, and John Bailey got on the coach at the end and went up the Cherries or something. He came through the back entrance, and then everyone on the coach went mad. But I remember in the programme, the matchday programme, there was a little tear off strip in the corner, and because Millwall had a bad start of the season so far, or something along those lines, he offered a pint to each and every fan that bought a programme. So you tore it off, and you was like, I've got a pint here. So
what a lovely club.
Yeah, what a lovely club. Should we put it in good? No, we won't. We'll keep it in average. Norwich City. Now, I got to say, the whole idea for this video came from Talk Norwich City, great YouTube channel. You can click the card at the top, and it's Jack Reeves and co that run that. And I saw that, I thought, oh, that's a good idea. I did email them and said, we're going to do what you're going to do. And interestingly, they put Bournemouth in the meh category. It's like, what are you talking about, lads? Maybe we'll return the compliment, Jack. Not too sure, but Norwich City it's a horrible place to get to. No motorways or whatever. Very exposed, and as a city, it's lovely. As an away day,
yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, when you said that, I thought, God, we're gonna have to put my here, aren't we? We got recommended by them, but they put us in there. So no, it's I mean, I went there for the 3-1. We got battered first Premier League season, I think. We've never done well there, but I'm also cautious of not saying because of our results there. And like you say, actually the place, I remember going there, it was really sunny. It was a really nice area. I really liked it. But like you say, difficult to get to. Not a massive fan of the stadium or the atmosphere. The pub wasn't great. I'm gonna whack it in poor. I'm going poor.
Burn, but I think that's fair enough. Right, I think I know where you're going to go with this. Nottingham Forest. It's a city that's steeped in tradition. Obviously, they've got they're a decorated club in terms of European championships, etc. And consistently a top flight team throughout the 70s and 80s. But they've struggled to get out of that division, and it's crazy, really, isn't it? Because as time goes on and you go through sort of different eras, you'd have always said that Leeds were a Premier League team, and then they've been in the Championship so long, and you think, well, God, they're almost, that's their place. Nottingham Forest, it seems like that is their true home, because they don't seem to challenge, or they fall short. But as an away day, though, Not bad, is it?
Oh, it's brilliant. I mean, like I say, in terms of a football club, I'm 28 and I see them as a championship club. You know, obviously I know the history and stuff, but yeah, they're someone that you feel are like a sleeping giant, and I'm surprised that they haven't had that real backing. They could really take them on to the next level. It wouldn't surprise me if they go up in a few years, but they've got Lewis Graben as well. I always love Grabs, so that'd be nice. But I tell you what, the away pubs are hooters, right? So just put it in God now. But I used to love it when I think we had one season where we had them, and then we got Notts County in like 2 cups. So I was like, I'll just keep going back to Hoover, this is awesome. But yeah, if you have never been to Nottingham Forest, you've got to go, because the whole away experience is absolutely awesome. And the staff and that in the pub and that are brilliant. Like they know what to expect. It's a really good atmosphere, and the ground's nice as well, to be fair. Yeah, love it. And I remember scoring last minute there as well. Pewey. Ranty assist, remember that, don't forget. But yeah, it's a really good, and to be fair, if you want to stay up there, it's not a bad night out, Nottingham. So it's got to be God. It's got to be. It's got everything.
There you go. So this is where we're at so far. Birmingham and Nottingham Forest. Yeah, you know, like you say, it's not the longest of journeys. Preston North End's a bit of a longer journey. And have you been there?
Yeah, I went there. We were in the Premier League. We went in the Cup, and it was a Tuesday night game. I think it was the League Cup. And I stupidly thought, well, I'll take the Tuesday off work, but I'll go to work on Wednesday, it'll be fine. Went to extra time and penalties on a Tuesday night. Federici was the hero, I don't know if you remember. We did win, wasn't the best games, but yeah, we did win. But then I got home, got changed and went to work. I didn't go home until about 6 in the morning. So and I remember, it's a difficult one because it was a Tuesday night, we didn't take many fans, obviously it was a cup game. So there wasn't really any atmosphere in the stadium or outside it. So I don't know a great deal about the place. It's quite a trek. I didn't think it was brilliant. I'm going to put it in poor. But I might, to be fair, if we went there like on a Saturday and we found out a decent pub, it might go up. But from what I've experienced, I'm not a fan.
There was one of my, so back in the day, so 1997, me and a lad called John Sharkey did a website called Boscombe on the Web that was at the time one of the biggest AFC Bournemouth websites, and through that, we started going to lots of away games, and one of the first ones we went to was, well, not the first away game, but through doing that was Preston North End, and a lot of people recognised us weirdly. It was like, oh, Sam and John, you do Back of the Net, Boscombe on the Web. And I met a number of people like Andy Smith, Des Halstead, Neil Whedon, and a lot of, Neil's been on the chat now, and it's just like, there are people that I don't really know that I've stayed in touch with for so long.
Through that kind of...
through AFC Bournemouth. They're not friends, but they're not strangers either. And that's what I love about the whole football experience. And I spoke to Pete Rutzer in The Athletic recently about a story that he did, and about the experiences that I miss from not being there on a match day, and it's seeing the faces but the people that you don't know behind them, and like they're there doing their usual routine. You can see them sat in the same seats, and they're no longer there. But anyway, I met loads of people at a pub called the Garrison. I'm not sure if it's still there, and that was the away day experience, and that was it's a fond memory, but even still, I don't think it's enough to pull it up to anything other than what it is.
I'm happy for you to pull up the average if you want to, sir. If you've got like a bit of reminiscing there.
There's a little bit, but no, I'm going to keep it in poor. Prove me wrong this season, and then I will maybe put it up to the next tier. So, another London club, Queen's Park Rangers. Interesting away day.
Yeah, it's like I say. The London ones are always quite nice because you've got such a variety of where you can go beforehand, what I mean, all that stuff. So it kind of helps them out. But every time I've been there, we've had bad results. So got all that. I haven't got a nice feeling about. I've never really enjoyed going there. I can't even think of the name of the ground now off the top of my head.
Loftus Road.
No, that's it. Loftus Road.
Yeah. It's an interesting ground, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's right next to White City Tube Station, I think, and that's where the BBC television centre is, right next door. And yeah, I've been there for cup games, league games. I don't think I've ever experienced a win there.
No, and I feel a little bit bad on them because I don't feel like I've done anything other than I feel like every time we've played them, it's always been like a midweek and like a night game, so it hasn't been the same. And I've seen Charlie Austin score there and give it big ones and all, but average.
I think average is probably about
average.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. So next, we got Reading, and as an away day, it's one of those identikit stadiums. I don't really know, because I've been there a number of times as a younger lad, so I didn't really do the pub experience beforehand. But you might know a little bit more because you've been there more recently. I mean, were you there for that 1-0 when Callum Wilson scored?
Stressful that was.
I mean,
because
he scored after 3 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was an even game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I was there about in midday.
Yeah.
And so that was nice. It was nice weather. I remember that.
Yeah.
But I'm tempted with God,
Oh, really?
I love it because it's around the corner.
Yeah.
It's around the corner, and I actually quite like the stadium.
Interesting.
I'm not going to go that high. I think I'm going to stick with good.
Yeah.
But I quite, because I feel like I'm doing that because it's so close. But the whole experience is what happens is you can. Because it's so close, you get more fans there. Obviously, we fill it out, and like you say, that game you mentioned, we absolutely packed it out.
Yeah.
So it automatically feels like better because you've got so many Bournemouth fans everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think in general, it's probably not good enough. It's not on the level of particularly Forest.
And I think the good level for that particular away day is accurate because I've seen a couple of 3-alls there back in the day. This was in the late 90s.
We missed out on the promotion, do you remember that?
Yeah, it was. Mark Steen popping up and scoring a last-minute equaliser. I think another time it was Jermaine Defoe, maybe. I can't quite remember.
It was in his 10 goals in a row that season. We missed out on playoffs because we drew with Reading and we needed to win. And Tyndall gave away a free kick right at the end and they scored it.
But in terms of the noise that the Cherries fans made...
it's always good atmosphere in the way.
Yeah, and you know what? Like even in the North Stand where I sit, sometimes it feels very divided. And you've got half the stand singing and the other half maybe a little bit behind. But Reading, we were all singing in unison. It's the loudest I've heard us sing in many years. So I think putting that in the good category.
That was one of my favourites. Do you remember when they used to do on Afc Bournemouth? They used to do the. At the end of the game with the players coming over, they used to do the videos and the players were giving it big ones. It was almost like, this is it. Do you remember that? I remember staying for like half hour after the game.
Was that the turning point for you?
Yeah, I felt that was the turning point. Yeah. That was massive. It was QPR and Reading back to back, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a squeaky bum time.
Yeah, it was mental.
Right, so we've got 6 teams to go. Rotherham United. What do you say about this?
I'm pretty sure I've been to Rotherham 3 times. They've been 3 different stadiums.
Quite possibly.
I'm sure
was it now the New York Stadium, is it?
Yeah, was it Millwall?
Yeah.
That's in my head, I might be wrong there. But I remember going, they were changing stadiums, and I've been to a couple of different ones. One had like an athletics track around it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what one they're at anymore. I don't know what it looks like. I feel like
it's a newer build. Yeah. I think New York Stadium is it's a nice facility. It's the kind of venue that when the FA are going, like England under 21s, let's put them here this week.
I feel like we're looking like a bit. We've got Barnsley and Huddersfield in Port, and I feel like it kind of reminds me of Barnsley. It's just the same.
Yeah.
I'm not a massive fan of Rotherham. I'm pretty sure when I went there once, it was a Tuesday night. Yeah. It might have actually been the -17 season. I remember going there, where Eddie had just taken over and we played really well and didn't get the result. It's not great. But it's like I say, all these things are in comparison to the fact that it's quite away as well.
What I did like about in the Championship season when we played Rotherham, we played them twice
Cup
away
as well, battered them.
And I can't remember which one came first, but they were. It was the cup, and we battered them like 5-1 or something like that, or 6-1. I can't remember.
With our backup team.
Yeah, and I remember reading Twitter, and their fans were like, "Oh my God, this is Bournemouth's second 11. What the hell is it going to be like?"
But then we took our first team and beat them 1-0.
Yes.
And we were rubbish. But I remember getting messages on Twitter from Rotherham fans with the backup team going, how are you not playing Junior Stanislas in your first team? And I was saying, well, Richie and Pugh just got. Yeah. And to be fair, they're kind of right because Stanislas is still a key player for us. But you think of that backup team now. I don't want to say his name, but Fraser was on one side, Stanislas on the other. I mean, that was still a good team. I think Sean Mack scored. He ended up going to them, didn't he?
It's bizarre the amount of players that didn't make the grade in the champion.
And then Goslin.
Yeah.
Adam Smith.
Yeah.
Junior
players
Stanislas,
that barely got a run out in the championship.
Shows how good that team was, and you can't blame it. I think it's because we were fortunate in the sense that we didn't have many injuries. Like Pugh and Richie never got injured.
Yeah.
But how could you? Junior could do whatever he wanted. You could get him in. How could you drop Pugh and Richie in the league? It was.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That was. I didn't go to that one, but I remember that cup game was. Yeah, second team we battered them.
But as an away day, not so good. Now the next one, I always remember hark back to doing Boscombe on the Web. I remember a couple of times again going to Stoke City. One of which was when David Town was playing, and we were in our green and black striped kit, and it was fairly decent, wasn't it? Like reminiscent of like Ted McDougall and the flying header against Aston Villa, sort of memories sparking that. But can't really remember much at the time. The stadium was a bit of a weird shape because it had a sort of, it was almost like half a stadium was filled in, you had kind of one half filled in, one corner was filled in, and then the other half were like 2 separate stands. But I gather they've done a little bit more work, obviously, since those days. But as an away day,
no, it's awful. I hate it.
Should we just?
I tell you what, that's going to Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Because.
And the fact that people say, you know, can they cut it on a cold Tuesday night?
If we get a cold Tuesday night in Stoke, no one's going.
I mean, I probably will.
You got to remember as well, when we first got to the Prem, we played, and that was the Callum Wilson injury. Like I remember hearing all
a lot
that.
Of sad memories.
Yeah,
as well.
And also I remember, I called him out actually. My mate Matt Davis, he went up there and he said, "We'll be alright in this pub." Went into, it's just all Stoke, right? I'm in a woolly hat, freeze-golden t-shirt, shorts, right? Because we figured they're looking at us like, "What are you doing in there?" I had a pint and got straight out. But the actual away pub was almost like a sports complex. It wasn't really a pub, and that's not. It was a nice sports complex, but that's not an away day. It wasn't. So that side of it as well. Stadium's okay, not a great area, and I just don't like Stoke.
No.
And I'm really happy that in rather self-isolated we've got Borough and Stoke, which are both poolish teams.
Yeah.
So I like that. I didn't even mean to do that.
You know what? Yeah, there's a common theme there.
Yeah.
Right, next. 4 teams to go. If you're fans of Watford, Wycombe and Sheffield Wednesday, you're coming up. We're obviously doing it via the league table for next season because Sheffield Wednesday -12, so that gives Bournemouth a bit of a chance maybe, but hey, we're going to be pushing for playoffs, so it doesn't matter, right? Swansea City. Now, you know what? The stadium, for me, it's the same as what, like it's a bowl stadium, but we've had some relatively good results there. I mean, the last one I watched there was a dreadful 0-0, but we've had a fantastic 3-0 that we had. I remember it was like a New Year's Day or New Year's Eve or something when we were in the Premier League. Josh King scoring a cracking goal and a really good team goal with Wilshere and Stanislas combining, Fraser scoring, and as a City as well. You go out onto there's a main strip in Swansea where there's like Pop World and a few pubs, and I don't mind it. I mean, the stadium's a little bit further from that. Last time I drove there, I got a fine through the post 5 days later because I was driving through a bus lane. I don't know what bus is in Welsh, but apparently it did say it in English. But for me, it is certainly not in the bottom 2 tiers.
I'll tell you what, it's up there, mate.
But go on, what do you think?
I'll tell you what, I'm debating God. Right? Because the pub, I believe it's called the Landor.
Yeah.
And they let away fans in there. You pay 50p to get in because you get on a raffle if you go in, right? And I remember going up there and saying, I can't remember what a pint of Foster's, whatever it was. A game of 5, I got £3 change. I thought if I'm getting a lager and I'm getting £3 change of a £5, I'm staying here. And about 3 floors it's like a conservative-y kind of club pub.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really nice. It was mixed, but the Swansea fans were a good laugh.
Yeah.
The nightlife's you can, like I said about Cardiff, nightlife's good, but everything else ain't very good.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like obviously Swansea's not bad, and I'm gonna go God.
You know what? I
love it.
I'm in agreement.
I'm
with
excited
that
about Swansea. I'm excited about
because
Swansea
the nightlife is decent as well, and the fans were very, and they're also quite humble fans.
I remember getting on well with fans.
They're a team that have trodden this similar paths to what we have. Really.
Yeah, you forget that they remember coming to Bournemouth when we were both in the bottom tier, so they kind of feel a little bit level to us. And I remember when we went up to Prem, we were getting kind of like, they're a bit like when Swansea come up, play good football and stuff like that. I like Swansea. I'm going God. Yeah,
okay.
I can't wait for Swansea away.
3 to go. Watford. This is one that we did together last season, pissing it down. Bournemouth didn't put in their best performance. I remember we chatted to each other after the game where we were absolutely wet through. But went to the Oddfellows, the pub before the game, which is a great pub. It's better when it's sunny because the beer garden extends right out. I mean, the pub probably takes up like about a quarter of the land.
Yeah.
And then you've got like 3/4 of beer garden. So when it's raining, everyone sort of comes together in the pub. It can get a bit bit close.
This is one that's difficult for me because I feel like it literally depends on the weather. Because like you say, the size of the pub is so small that when we went last year and it was the 0-0 game, it was awful weather, so it's not great because you're all stuffed in a little pub. But if the weather's nice, I've been there a few times, so it's been really sunny. They have a big projector screen outside. They have a barbecue going. It's really big in the beer garden. And it's great, so it really is weather dependent on what time of year you get it. It's not too far, which is always nice. I don't mind Watford. I think, like I say, it's very weather dependent. I'm going to go good.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. And you know what? I don't mind Watford as a club these days, because there was that sort of spat on Twitter and stuff where we were giving each other, but it's kind of died down. And you know what? We seem to be almost like, they seem to be like our ugly sister. We
just go up with them, go down with
exactly.
them. I think what's really interesting is the model, like we said, obviously we've hired it internally and blah blah blah. They just chop and change them out.
Yeah.
We're so opposite, but it always like runs together. So it's really bizarre. But yeah, I'm not that bothered about Watford in terms of dislike, but I feel like good because
and it's close. It's relatively close.
It's relatively close, and I don't mind going to Watford. So
and they're a club that are probably a little bit bigger than us.
Yeah.
I mean, but I mean they are bigger than us, but they have got a smaller stadium, and I think fans with Watford, they feel as though they should be, punching a bit, like more above their weight, and they probably feel very aggrieved of going down last season. Where Bournemouth fans, we definitely do, because on paper we had a ridiculously good squad, and I'm still looking at it now thinking, how on earth did we end up in the situation we're in? But that's where we are. So yeah, Watford, here we are. They are with Bristol City, Luton Town, Reading and Watford. I don't know if it's anything to do with geographical proximity, but they're all relatively close.
They will play a part.
Yeah,
of course
and they're all good. So, Wycombe Wanderers, an unknown quantity in the Championship, but I mean, as a club, you've been there before, right?
But I've been there when I can't even remember it. I just know that I went with my grandparents, so we used to play them all the time, didn't we, back in the day? Because we were both small clubs, and I honestly can't remember the year. I just know I've got a programme from it, and my grandparents say that I went with them. They took me up there, so I can't remember it. It's quite close. But it's one of them that, regardless of the fact that I don't really know what to expect, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that they've got up to the Championship. I think it's really great. And so, as much as I think, because I don't really know, it should be average, I'm going to go good because it's one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of fans. It seems like that's been the kind of jive at us has been that. Oh, you enjoy Wycombe next year? Yeah, I think I will actually. Yeah. It's like
It's almost said it's said as a put down. Enjoy the Championship, enjoy Wycombe. It's like, well, hang on a sec. Like, you're being very negative towards a club that is there on merit, and
I think Wycombe might do all right. I think they might surprise some people. I think they'll be a bit of an unknown quantity.
I don't think they'll challenge, but
no, but I think they'll stay up as well. I think they might have enough.
I've got their fans seem to be very humble, and I think as Bournemouth fans, obviously you've got football Twitter and everything that say whatever they want to say and cause they tend to provoke on purpose, but Wycombe in general seem to have a very humble fan base, and
I suppose they're quite similar to us in terms of...
they are really.
Yeah, and I quite like Gareth Ainsworth, the manager. I think he's a good upcoming manager, and I think he's shown a lot of loyalty there and stayed with them, and I think they could be... Yeah, they won't be challenging, but I think they might have... I think they're going to be like the bankers to go down, and I actually think they might have enough. But I'm looking forward to that one, put it that way.
Okay, so finally, it's not an alphabetical order, it's done on points, and Sheffield Wednesday, they're going to be on -12, and as a club, the City, Hillsborough, the journey, how have you found going to Sheffield before?
Yeah, difficult one. I went up there, I can't remember what the result was. I'm sure Sermon scored a screamer, so I was happy. But
that was in our 2-0.
All I remember is I had 2 away games in a row. Yeah. One was Tuesday night and one was the Saturday, and there was Sheffield Wednesday and Middlesbrough, and how I did both of them. I was knackered that week.
Yeah, but you know what he did? He scored,
and then Fraser scored at the end.
Yeah, that was a 2-0. Yeah.
Why we keep mentioning Fraser too much? It's a difficult one because Sheffield Wednesday, quite a big club, quite like they've always got decent atmosphere. I think they're kind of known for like when England games go on. Sheffield Wednesday, like the fans with like the trumpets and all that, they're quite cool. Yeah, and I quite like Sheffield Wednesday. Hillsborough, historically, really nice ground. I'm looking forward to it, but it's a trek.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult one to judge. In terms of them having minus points, I agree that we shouldn't be worried because I don't think we'll be down there. But equally, I think Sheffield Wednesday would have been up there if it wasn't for the minus there. So that's kind of taking the team out. I think they would have been challenging for playoffs. I might go good.
Okay.
It's quite a way which would make me go average, but actually, historically, Hillsborough, that's big for me, and I think it's a really nice stadium. If you wanted to, it's one of them you think it's quite a way, but stay up there, you can have a decent night out. It's different to your Rotherhams and Huddersfields and things like that. I'm looking forward to going to Sheffield actually.
There are certain old stadiums.
Yeah, it feels like a classic.
But there are certain old stadiums that have sort of modernised over the time. And do you think Sheffield Wednesday has done that, or do you think it's still got a lot of its old charm as well?
Yeah, probably got a bit of both, which is what it's. And there's still a part of me that subconsciously remembers that goal that made us win the chat. So they've got to. I can't put them any lower than good.
Of course they're good.
Nahuye or whatever his name is. I'd sign him tomorrow. I don't know what he's doing with himself.
Yeah.
I think he's just left.
Oh, is he?
Because he's quite old now.
Oh no, you're right. He has, yeah.
Yeah, and I literally saw it. He left, and it's just all Bournemouth fans saying thank you. He's never played a game for us. He's actually pretty rubbish, but to be fair, what a god.
So there we go. Let's have a look on screen. So God tier: Birmingham, Nottingham Forest, Swansea. Good. Mainly, geographically near us, apart from Sheffield Wednesday. Then in your average, you've got Blackburn, Brentford, Cardiff, Coventry, Derby, Millwall, QPR, and then you're looking at your more exposed stadiums up north, like Barnsley, Huddersfield, Preston, Rotherham. You've got Norwich in there as well, and then the 2 away days you want to forget: Middlesbrough and Stoke. Is this correct? Has Tom Jordan said the right words today?
Bang on.
If you're an opposition fan, feel free to give us grief. We will take it, and let us know why you think your away day, or when you're accepting your visit. Obviously, for half of these, sadly, we probably won't even be able to go to them, mate. So it's a bit futile in some ways, but
I feel like I can already predict that Borough and Stoke want to be last day of the season, want to be near Christmas where we're just allowed to go back. I'll be at both of them. I guarantee it. I'll be at both of them.
Just imagine if there's 7 games left and they're poor and stuff.
I mean, all 3 of them are in God, but I tell you what, just please let me go to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Please.
Hooters, we got to go.
Come on.
So, what do you think? Let us know. So, we're at the Rope and Anchor and having a...
I'll tell you what, he is on fire.
And we are... at a pub that is part of the prize for the funnel forecast. So, went a round of golf with Harry Redknapp, not bad. Tony Funnel as well, lunch in the middle, £50 voucher for the Rope and Anchor, which is a pub in Old Town Pool. Loads of good beers and ales, and on TripAdvisor, check out their food reviews because incredible stuff. Owned by Cherries fans as well. £20 AFC Bournemouth Superstore voucher. The back of the net bottle opener is one big mega prize, and all you got to do is donate £2, and that's an entry. So if you put in 40 quid, 20 entries. That's how it works. So the more you put in, we're aiming to raise £2,000, and it's for the Forest Home Hospice in Poole, who deal with end of life and palliative care. Great charity, and it's a charity close to Tony Funnel's heart. If you can donate, the link's in the description below. afcbpodcast.com/fundraiser. afcbpodcast.com/fundraiser. Really appreciate it. Tom, thanks for your time over these couple of videos. Thank you very much. Fist bump and all that kind of stuff. And we'll see you in the next video. Up the Cherries.
Up Cherries.
Back in the day! Back in the day!